Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Per request, I'm going to do a short, brief video on my analysis of Robert Dwayne Womack, and we all know him as Bobby Womack. And we lost Bobby Womack, I believe, 2014 at the age of 70. And my thoughts on Bobby Womack is this: if I had a list of 10 men that I would love to sound like as a singer, he would be on that list. Because you all know I love Rick James, and Rick James is on that list. Bobby Womack would definitely make that list because I love the sound of his voice. Very soulful, very gospel. And he's, like we all know, very underrated guitar player because I didn't realize that he wrote Breezing. And I thought about that when I first heard that many years ago. I'm like, he should have kept that one for himself. But as I thought about it, as I got older and got into the music business, that was a pretty clever move. And I think that was the best move because he wasn't known as a guitar man. You know, he was known as a soul singer. So, you know, he penned that song and gave it to George Benson, who was known as a guitar man, who's just a singer after playing guitar. You know, so, and of course, George Benson did it justice. You know, ain't too many people that can, you know, match up with George Benson. You know, so I think that was a really clever move on his part because I don't believe that that song would have became a huge hit if he would have done it and kept him himself. But that's just my opinion, and that's not taking away from Bobby Womack's talent as a guitar player by no means. I'm just saying that George Benson did it justice. And Bobby Womack was not known for jazz, you know, so again, a very clever business move on his part. Things about Bobby Womack: tremendous singer, underrated guitar player, and a grade A first-class songwriter. You know, so he was strong in all three areas. And a lot of people didn't realize that, you know, when they look at him, and, you know, that's just part of the business. When you're a great singer, that's all they think about. You know, you could be a great guitar player, great piano player, great drummer. The first focus is, can you sing, or you sing it, and that's our focus. You know, but again, Bobby Womack was very prolific in all three areas. And I'm not going to really get into the personal life because nobody's perfect, you know, so I'm not going to focus on that because the focus here is about analysis of his playing and being a musician. But I do have to say this because it ties in. Bobby Womack was really good friends with Sam Cooke, and Sam Cooke did a lot for Bobby Womack. Sam Cooke started a record company and actually put Bobby Womack on his label. And before that, Bobby Womack was a part of the Womack brothers, who were a gospel group. So his roots were in gospel first. So then he kind of, you know, made that transition over. And Sam Cooke was just a great friend, great mentor. And apparently Bobby Womack had feelings for Sam Cooke's wife. And of course, you know, in most cases, people just say, I'm going to respect the situation and not even mention that, you know, because that would not be a good thing. But, you know, when Sam Cooke was murdered, and I do stress when he was murdered and set up, that after he passed away, Bobby Womack married his wife. And a lot of people don't realize this, that, you know, after he married his wife, that Sam Cooke's wife's brothers were not too happy about that, and they gave Bobby Womack a serious beatdown. And I don't know what that was about, but that's what it's been confirmed and documented. But what's interesting is Sam Cooke many years later, wrote a song called I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much. I love that song. I think that's my favorite Bobby Womack song, and I love the video. And a friend of mine put me to the side and said, you know what that song's about, don't you? I'm like, no, not really. He says, based on the true story. You know, he married Sam Cooke's wife. And I didn't know that at the time. And then it made sense, and my friend broke it down to him and said, you know, that makes it really interesting, that song. You know, so, you know, pretty interesting song, pretty interesting story based around the true life situation of that song. But again, Bobby Womack was one of my favorite soul singers, great guitar player, and a great songwriter. I actually had one of his songbooks. It just came out, I think, a couple of years ago, The Poet and the Poet Too. And a lot of his stuff is kind of hard to get through. I don't know if it's alternate tuning, because as I was trying to play some of this stuff, it just wasn't locking in with the record. So I believe that a lot of his stuff was in either between keys or alternate tuning. Because when I bought that book, I was excited. I was like, I'm going to play all these songs and put them up on YouTube. I think I was able to only post one because the rest of them I couldn't get through for some reason. The chords were not locking with the record. You know, so I just thought I would note that for anybody who wants to go out and buy the book. Uh, be aware that you're not gonna be able to sit down with the record and the book and song sheet music and play along because it's just not gonna work. But I'm gonna wrap this video up, and of course, rest in peace, Mr. Womack. We miss you. We thank you for the musical contributions you've given us. And until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.